Michigan is back to being, at least their first couple NCAA tournament games, the Michigan that we saw through the majority of the regular season when they were regularly beating teams by 20, 30. That slowed down toward the end of the regular season. They struggled in the quarterfinals against Ohio State at the Big Ten tournament, and then obviously got beat in the championship game by Purdue. But now Jackson Lendeborg is playing once again like a first-team All-American, and all those complementary parts surrounding him are making Michigan once again look like a favorite to get back to Indy.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a different Michigan team at the United Center than we saw a week ago. I just got the sense, and Dusty kept talking about how they won the regular season by multiple games, incredibly impressive. That's the championship. They seemed a little, I don't want to say disinterested, because they did reach the title game.
And they had won the Big Ten tournament, remember, the year before in Dusty's first season.
Yeah, but you could sense that they were focusing
maybe looking ahead.
Yes, on this next goal. Of course, they wanted to win it. They played to win it. But there's definitely a different mentality with them now in the NCAA tournament. They are relocked into the goal. This is why Jackson Lendeborg withdrew from the NBA draft, transferred to Michigan. It's for these games in March into early April. That's why he's here. And you can tell they've also had time to now adjust without LJ Kaysen. I mean, they had these games, to now figure out the rotation, and they're playing like they did back in November.
We know what guys like, obviously, Lendeborg, but you also know what Cadeau is going to do for you. You know what Merez Johnson is going to do for you. The Kaysen injury, to me, has made Trey McKinney such a more important and vital cog in this engine. I think he is a really dangerous player. If you look back at all the teams that have gone to the Final Four, won the NCAA tournament, almost invariably there is a player on those teams who has a moment during that run where he has to become the best player on the floor, not one of the starters, not one of the stars. I think McKinney is going to be that guy at some point for Michigan.
Yeah, and I love their draw. I mean, because Alabama, they're going to want to run, and you don't want to run with Michigan because those bigs run. And that's why I really like them in the Sweet 16. And then in the Elite Eight, whoever it's going to be, Tennessee or Iowa State, it's going to be a half-court slugfest. And I still like the physicality of Merez Johnson and Jackson Lendeborg against anything that Tennessee or Iowa State have to offer. But it's going to be literally two different games, assuming they get to the Elite Eight. It's going to be a track meet in the Sweet 16. It's going to be a half-court slugfest in the Elite Eight.
Alabama, of course, is without its second leading scorer after some legal issues before the NCAA tournament. If it's Iowa State in the Elite Eight, Iowa State lost arguably its best player for the rest of the NCAA tournament during their first-round win. So certainly shaping up to be a run for Michigan that could end up in the Final Four in Indianapolis. Michigan State has been a popular pick by a lot of folks to come out of that East region, which I call the quadrant of death, with Duke, Kansas, UConn, St. John's, who crushed UConn by 20 in the Big East championship game and is now into the Sweet 16. And yet Michigan State has answered the questions. Jeremy Fears is playing, I would argue right now, like the best player in the country, bar none, regardless of position.
Well, and the good news, it's not good news that Silas Emery's not 100% for UConn, but I thought that he had an advantage at that position anyway, and now you're going against a point guard for the Huskies that's not 100%. So I like the advantage there. It's going to really come down to a familiar face for Michigan State, and that's how do they handle Terrace Reed of UConn, the former Wolverine, who's playing some of his best basketball.
Andy, tell me how many rebounds he had to save them in their first-round game.
27.
27, not points, rebounds.
Yeah, so 31 and 27. So a big assignment for Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper. I mean, they're going to just have to deal with Reed. They should be familiar with him. And look, if they get by UConn, either Duke or St. John's, obviously monumental task. They've already lost to Duke at home, and the Red Storm behind Zubi Ejiofor certainly will be very difficult to defeat in D.C. But hey, if this team can get to the Elite Eight, that's quite an accomplishment for a team that was not projected to compete for a Big Ten title at the beginning of the season.
Well, I said it at the beginning of the year. I'm not just reminding you of this to make myself seem smart, but I think it's still applicable. This team reminded me from the very start of that 2015 team that was not 2015, I believe it was, that was not supposed to make much of a run and ended up going to the Final Four, beating Montrezl Harrell and Louisville through Syracuse. Maybe it was a year or two after that. Either way, that was the Travis Trice-led team with a bunch of complementary pieces, a point guard who was playing his best at the right spot. That was before Denzel Valentine really became Denzel Valentine. There's a lot of similarities to me in the way that those teams played, and if they can have the same similarity in terms of where they end up at the end of the year, that'd be a pretty good comparison.
Yeah, by the way, this is a game, I saw this game, by the way, in an exhibition game way back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in October, Michigan State, UConn, and Michigan State did not play well at all. Obviously, they've changed dramatically since then. UConn's gotten a lot better. So the scout won't be that difficult for either of them. Dan Hurley and Tom Izzo, a lot of respect between the two of them. I just think it's going to be a fascinating game in D.C.
Well, it's UConn because it's not UCLA. After UConn, I think, played much better in its second-round game than it did in its first to knock off the Bruins.
By the way, one other little side note. I think I'm right on this. I believe that's the same venue that Michigan State beat Zion Williamson and Duke in D.C. I think that's correct.
We're going to have to go back to the Wayback Machine in that one.
I think I may be correct. So there could be some good vibes in that building.
So UCLA's season comes to a close at the hands of UConn. You could write books about this season for UCLA, right? The ups and downs, Mick Cronin's on and off court explosions regarding both his team and things that had no relation to his team. But then that team responded in just the right way. Late in the year, Donovan Dent became one of the best players in the country. It's a little bit of a bummer because you would love to have known what would have happened for UCLA in this game and moving forward had Tyler Bilodeau been healthy.
Yeah, look, I mean, when he got hurt at the Big Ten tournament, it looked really bad initially. Then he comes out, if you remember, we were both there, and the ice was gone, and they were fairly confident that he'd be able to go. And then apparently the back, didn't feel great as the weekend progressed in Philadelphia, so he was not able to go. And I really do believe, had he been healthy, I think they would have beaten UConn. And then you never know. Obviously, in a rematch against Michigan State, and then on to the Elite Eight. So it's a shame that they never were their sort of full complement throughout the course of the season. The talent was there.
Well, they're going to lose. And remember now, they're losing a ton of these guys.
Yes. So it's a complete, not a complete, but it's a pretty big rebuild for Mick Cronin and the Bruins. So we'll have to wait and see. But it ended a little bit quieter, but at least they did get to the second round after about, 6 weeks ago. It looked like they weren't even going to make the tournament.
I think because you had so many veterans on this team, right, finishing up. You had Dent, the transfer. You had Bilodeau. You have Sky Clark, who's been around forever. Trent Perry's a younger guy, but there's a lot of talk that he's probably going to weigh the NBA waters as well. So could be transfer portal time.
Yes.
A lot of transfer portal time for Mick Cronin and the staff in the offseason. Andy, good stuff as always.